First video ever for YouTube. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to another match preview, but this one is a little bit different because I finally don't have to cram all of my thoughts into 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching my first ever YouTube video. It really took me a lot of time to make this decision and to just go for it, but there's never a time like the present to just start doing something. So here we are. Most of you probably already know me from Twitter, but if you happen to not know me from Twitter, here's my Twitter information. Make sure to follow me for all things Chelsea. I post a lot of stuff there, and here's my Instagram as well. And finally, you know that it's coming. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of really great content planned, and yes, that animation that you just saw did take me over 2 hours to make, so I really hope that you subscribe and turn on bell notifications because that was painful, I'm not gonna lie. Now, let's get into what you all came here for, Chelsea versus Man City match preview. So, Chelsea have not been in the best of form recently. They've won just one game in their last 5, drawn 1, and lost 3. And the worst part about that was that the losses just felt like they could have been so avoidable. Chelsea just looked void of any enthusiasm or willingness to play. They just looked like they were a tired team, and it was very frustrating to watch. And I think the most frustrating part was that a lot of those losses could have been draws or even wins, but we just were not looking like playing or competing in those games. So that's behind us. It's a new year, which means a fresh start, and I think I speak for everyone when we're all hoping that Chelsea can get a result against Man City. Taking a look at City's form, they've won 3 and drawn 2 in their last 5 games in the Premier League, and I think that there's this false sense that City aren't having a great season because currently they sit 8th in the Premier League, but that's really a false sense of security almost, because they do have 2 games in hand. So if they win those 2 games, they'll go up to 3rd place with 32 points, right behind leaders Liverpool and Manchester United, 1 point behind them. So really, it's not as bad of a season as it's being made out to be. Not only have City not been playing as badly as many people think that they might have been, but they also have a really good defensive record in the Premier League this season. That center-back partnership of Diaz and Stones really is taking shape, and they've only conceded 12 goals so far this season. So that's about 0.85 goals per game, and they've kept 7 clean sheets, so it's not going to be an easy game at all. But City do have 5 first team players out due to COVID. We know that 2 of them are Gabriel Jesus and Kyle Walker, and we can also suspect that Ederson is one of them because he did post on Instagram for New Year's Eve that he was self-isolating, but we're going to find out tomorrow who the other players are. So there will never be a better time to beat Man City than this game with them having 5 players out due to COVID. But that's not to say it's going to be an easy game, because Man City is always a difficult fixture. I'm sure that they're going to have players to just fill into those spots, and that is really not going to be an easy game for Chelsea at all. Not only that, they have Aguero, who it hasn't been in the best of form as of recently, but we know that he loves to score against Chelsea. He scored 10 goals against Chelsea in his career. And not only that, he hasn't scored so far in the Premier League this season. And we all know what happens when players have not scored in the Premier League. They happen to find their magic against Chelsea, so I feel like that is written in the stars, honestly. Now let's take a look at my preferred starting lineup. In goal is none other than Mendy. I think that he has been doing pretty well so far this season. He definitely started the season stronger, but Chelsea as a whole have not been doing great as of late. Looking at right back, we know that Reece James is out with a minor hamstring injury, so Azpilicueta will be filling in for that role. And I've said it once, I'll say it a million times, we're so lucky to have somebody like Azpilicueta who can fill in for that right back spot, because while he's not as strong strong as Reece James going forward. Defensively, he's still very strong. He reads the game really well, and he just puts his body on the line to help out the team, and we are very, very lucky to have him. Reece James, for that Arsenal game, he started, which I was very surprised about. So I hope with this injury, Reece James really takes the time that he needs to recover, because we saw that he played and now he's just gotten injured again, and when he did play, he didn't look great. At center back, we already know the duo. It's going to be Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma. They've both look really strong and they're developing a good partnership, so hopefully they can keep this up and get a clean sheet. And also, I really need a clean sheet for my fantasy team. Like, it's been a while. At left back, of course, Ben Chilwell. Who else really, like, he's just Ben Chilwell. He's too good. So Ben Chilwell at left back, and then I'm opting for a 4-3-3 formation with Conte as the DM. In the last game or so, he didn't look the same, but neither did the entire team, so I'm really not judging individual players because the team as a whole was not playing well. But before that, I do feel that he was getting back to his best self. He was sniffing out danger. He was really helping to clean up any defensive mistakes, so he gets the nod for me in the City game. He's going to be extremely important in countering that City attack. Looking at the attacking aids, I definitely think that Mason Mount needs to start. He's just been all over the pitch recently. We've seen that offensively and defensively he's improved, and he's just at the heart of what Chelsea does and what they create. Not to mention, he's been taking a lot of really good set pieces that have helped us to convert those and have the highest amount of goals scored by set pieces in the league so far this season. Now, the second aid spot is tricky because do you play Kovacic or do you play Kai Havertz, who you paid over 70 million pounds or whatever it was for in the summer, who hasn't been performing that great? So personally, I would opt for Kovacic. This is a massive game, and I don't think that it's the smartest thing to really throw Kai into a game like City. I think that Lampard is managing him pretty similar to how he managed Pulisic last season. He's trying to keep him on the bench, have a performance here or there, but make sure that he's ready, because when the spotlight is on him, it's really difficult to deal with. And you have to keep in mind that these players are adjusting to a new language, a new culture, a new city, a new league. It's a lot to take in, so I can understand why they need to be managed. I think Kovacic is going to be really important for us. He does do well to link that defense and the offense as well, and I think that he just helps out more defensively than Kai does, which is going to be really important. We know that he can keep possession. Kai had been losing possession. He had like really sloppy passes, and that City team will absolutely punish you if you're not on top of your game. So I think that Kovacic is going to start. Now, moving over to the attack, obviously I need to see Christian Pulisic starting. For those who don't know, I am the biggest Pulisic fan ever, and I think he's just like amazing. But I do think that we look better attacking wise when Pulisic is on the pitch. He's one of those players that plays really direct football, which I really like. He attracts a lot of players to him. He forces them to commit fouls, and he's just a really strong player. Recently, his finishing has not been top notch. It hasn't been, but I do think that he's getting into those positions, so I can't even really be that upset with him because nobody else is even getting into those positions to score. We saw at the restart last season that Pulisic's finishing was just unbelievable. He was on some incredible form, and I think that everybody's comparing him to that, but that standard was just like absolutely ridiculous, and we know that he can get to that standard, so it's just waiting for him. We have to remember he's coming back from injury. He hasn't played that many games, and it's going to just take a little bit, but I'm so certain that once he gets started, he's not going to stop. So Pulisic gets the start for me. I think his direct play is going to be extremely important against this City side. Now, on the right wing, Frank Lampard has come out and said that Hakim Ziyech is finally fit after a month. It's the news that we've all been waiting for, because we can see that this team is lacking Ziyech's creativity and just ability to basically create something out of nothing. Really great news to have him back. That being being said, I don't think that Ziyech is going to start because it's a massive game, and after being out for a month, he's only trained for 2 to 3 days. I don't see him starting this game, but I think he could come on as this incredible super sub and make a difference for us if he is fit enough to do so. I don't think that Timo Werner has been good on the wing at all. He just looked out of place. He's losing possession. He's lacking a lot of confidence. It's sad for me to see because I can tell how much he wants to score and how much he wants to do well, and he knows that he's not playing well enough. But I think that Callum Hudson-Odoi has played a lot better than Timo Werner has, and for those reasons I think that Callum should start ahead of him. Callum has looked really direct. He's been putting in some beautiful crosses, some beautiful passes as well, and he's looked pretty threatening anytime that he's been on the pitch recently. So I think that if we're playing off of merit, Callum definitely deserves a start. And then finally, who do you put up front? Do you play Werner? Do you play Tammy? Do you play Giroud? Werner could play as the center forward, but he hasn't been in form. Then you really have Tammy and Giroud, who are two different types of strikers. They both have been scoring a lot of goals, and they just bring something different to the table. I think it's a really great problem to have. This is probably the hardest position on the pitch for me to pick because all of the strikers have been playing pretty well bar Timo. I think that Tammy would offer a lot, being able to hold up the ball but then make those runs and combine really well with the direct play of Pulisic and Callum. And then if we are chasing the game, or we need a goal, or we just want to make a sub and kill off the game, I think that bringing on Ziyech and Giroud could be a great combination, because we know that Ziyech has a killer left foot and that he's going to put in those crosses, and who is better at getting on the end of crosses than Olivier Giroud. So that was kind of my thinking and my reasoning for choosing Tammy to start this game. As a Chelsea fan, it's been a rough couple of games. There haven't been great results, and I think that we're all just hoping for a result against this City side. It isn't going to be easy by any means, but I'm hoping that the rest that the team have had will help them to prepare for this game versus City and to get a result. I think that any game versus City, even if they have the 5 players not available from COVID, and people might say, oh well, they don't have 5 players available, so there should be no excuses in beating them. They're still a really great side. Pep Guardiola is a great tactician as well, so don't think that it's going to be as easy as a game as many people are making it out to be. Think that we could get a draw, maybe 1-1, I would say is my score prediction. City haven't been conceding that many goals, and Chelsea haven't been scoring that many goals, so I think that that's a pretty fair result for Chelsea. But of course, I'm hoping for a win. I'm an optimist. Let's hope for a masterclass and to be happy after a Chelsea game again. So that's all for me. If you like this video, please like it. That would be absolutely amazing. Please subscribe to my channel. It would mean the absolute world. And yeah, comment your thoughts, comment what you think. I try to respond to as many people as possible on here and on Twitter. So yeah, up the Chelsea.